What's up, guys? So we are here at Happy Hippy Homestead with Nicole, and she is going to take us just around her homestead. She has some chickens, some goats, a garden, and she's going to show us around.
Hey y'all, so we're here in the garden and we'll start here on this far end. We have sorrel, and I just cut that back, and rows of beets and potatoes. We have hollyhock. We have a row of peas back there on the trellis. And these potatoes have come up from potatoes that we planted last year in the fall from our crop that year. And then we'll walk down here. There are a few jewel weeds. There's some sunflowers starting to come up. Got a few different onions and garlics. There is some anise hyssop here. And this is our parsnip experiment. Getting ready to bloom and reseed itself. There's a few chard down here. And we'll walk through here. So this, we did a little experiment to see if some of the okra seeds would come back up. We're not sure about the results for that yet, but we have some okra that we're going to plant over here. This is the world's largest oregano plant. So if anybody needs any oregano, come on over. We have under here some lemon balm, some Melissa, and all kinds of different heirloom greens.
Oh, it's looking good.
Kale, collard, mustards. And we have some nasturtiums. These will bloom shortly. Carrots. This is some arugula that's bolting. And then on this side of that pea trellis, we have the radish and more potatoes and some beets in there. And then we've got carrots in this bed, some lettuce over there. And I did want to mention, you can just reuse items like we got these from just an old trampoline that somebody had, and we were able to reuse the parts, and that can hold up our shade cloth. So here, these are just cattle panels, and we've got just reused concrete blocks. Here's some of our peas and lettuces. We've got some cilantro in there, and also dill here on this other end. And then we're gonna come back through and plant our scarlet runner beans on here. We also have some zucchini plants in there. And then we'll come over here, and we've got some reseeded calendula down here. And also, this is our garlic patch.
Oh, that's looking awesome.
And we have had our own garlic for the 12 years that we've been here. These are sweet potato vines that we plant. We can literally get like 100 pounds of sweet potatoes. I start these in a cup with some toothpicks, probably like you did when you're in kindergarten. It still works. And over here, this will be, we need to do some repairs, but this will be some beans through here, some bush beans, and then we've got some cucumbers started down there. Yeah. And here's our brassica bed. We've got the cover on it because of the cabbage lopers, but we've got some broccoli, cauliflower, some cabbages through there, and then we also put our eggplants under cover for a little while because you can see they're getting picked on. And then these were our volunteer garlic that just are on their second year, and they're starting to make the scapes. So if you all don't use these, You should totally try them. You can pickle them. You can cut them up, use them in stir fries. You can dehydrate them and crush them up and make your own garlic powders. So check it out if you're growing garlic. And then we can go back here. We've got a little more cilantro and dill. Planted just some radishes through here, but we'll come back through here, and this will be our lima bean trellis. Got some heirloom pole beans starting to pop up here and over through that trellis. These are just like cattle panels. We also reuse our hay string from, yeah, thank you, from our hay that we get. We've got some more peas down here. Here's some of our pepper plants. Some of these have suffered a little bit from getting eaten, but some of them are doing okay. And we've got some thyme over there and also some eucalyptus. This is our bee balm, and this is fennel. These grow here all the time, and our beautiful sage is blooming. Definitely attracts a lot of pollinators. Bee balm. And we'll plant some more tomatoes through here. We've also got some tomatoes going pretty good over here. All kinds of different varieties. We've got peas on this trellis also. And on this other side, we have more radishes. Of course, the heat, everything's starting to kind of bolt with that. More potatoes. And this is our gorgeous St. John's wort. And we have some lavender, and there's a feverfew back here. Oh, and there's a frog. Toad. Toad. Chamomile.
And so this is kind of like the herbal, medical kind of a garden-ish, I guess, at least a couple of things. You
Yes.
use the chamomile, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we use all of it. And we just want to talk about, we do layering. We use these wood chips, and then we also use like all our wasted hay, and we make compost from the animal waste. So we just layer it up.
Love it. So sustainable. Like it's just a closed system. Love it.
And then a couple more little things over here. We have some plantain, some English plantain.
Now, what do you do with this?
So you can make like a salve with this. It's really good. Like if you have, if you need to kind of cool something off, kind of helps if you, we like to mix it with like the arnica as an anti-inflammatory. So we grow this awesome plant here. And then we also have some rosemary back here and a sunflower, some more potatoes, and this will be cucumbers and squash. And we've got other cucumbers that we've started on some of the other trellises.
Nice. And then can we go over to the goats real quick? Because I think people would love to see the cute goats.
Absolutely. So.
Chickens over here. They look pretty rooster.
So that rooster was hatched here by one of our hens that's no longer here. She got broody and had a few babies, and so that was pretty exciting. Yeah. But we always try to make it so our animals have a place to get out of the sun and heat. That's really important. And then we use these electric fences just to help with any predators. And we can move it around so the chickens can go in some different areas.
That's a really good idea with the predators. Yeah, the electric. How easy was it to set that up?
Very easy.
So like somebody in like the more urban city probably could do that?
Yes, you could totally do this. And you could also, so we built these coops, and you can use plans that they have at the University of Kentucky through the Extension Service.
Okay.
So it's basically just cattle panels and a little, you know, some hardware. You have to build a door, get some. We do recommend hardware cloth for the coop for predators. It's a tighter weave. And then you just, yeah, need some wood. It's very easy, and you could easily build this in like a day.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into, because I'm about to get chickens. Mine just hatched. One of my friends is hatched like 40 chickens.
Oh, wow.
I'm not getting all 40, but I'm getting 6, 7, something
Yeah.
like that. I think the limit's 6, but I might try to push that a little bit.
That's
so I need to build a coop soon.
That's exciting. Nobody has to know how many chickens you have. You should never count your chickens.
Right, yeah, 6 or 60. I mean, you know.
So this is our electric fencing that we move around for the goats, because we use them to help keep our grass and also invasive weeds and things like that under control. So you can kind of see where they've eaten this down. These are the yearlings that were born here last year, the does. And we raise American Dairy Goat Association registered Nigerian dwarfs for dairy. And then these are the does that had kids this year, and they're on turnout, having some personal time away from their kids.
Yeah, that's awesome. So if there's any like tips for someone getting into gardening or urban homesteading, what would you say, like, to get somebody into it? That might be on the verge, but they might think it's too much work, or they're just scared.
Well, I think you can just start small. You could just start with a tomato plant in a small container. You could start some flowers for yourself. I definitely recommend starting with something you like. I mean, there's no sense in growing 500 pounds of okra if you're not into that. But also, they have classes at the Extension office, free stuff through the Master Gardeners on Facebook, Kentucky gardening groups. I think that there's a lot of people in your area that probably grow a lot of stuff really well, and you pair up with somebody that knows how to grow stuff, and they can help you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think you can reuse items, so you don't have to have a lot of expenses. You can start a bunch of seeds in a milk jug or something like that. It doesn't have to be very elaborate.
Love it. Love it.
So here's some of the different soaps that we've made. And this one was a loofah soap, and we grew the loofah, and then I grew a lot of the herbs in this, the calendula. Awesome. And here's a coffee soap that's amazing.
Those look good.
Thank you. Okay. And here's one of the cheeses that we make. This is one that I've called Happy Hippy Holler. You can see that it's growing a little bit of a white coat. So you can really make any cheese that you can make with cow's milk using goat's milk. So.
Awesome.
Thank you. Just did, like one day we were standing out there. We have some sensitive fern, and we have some begonias back in there. We do recycle. I highly recommend to recycle. And this is a gorgeous 9-bark. And here's some spiderwort. These are very easy to grow. This is another witch hazel. And there is an arrow wood viburnum back in there. Kind of hard to see right now.
Okay.
And we also grow, here we can come back here, we grow blackberries.
Oh, nice.
on this fence. And these are our bucks that are here. We keep them separate from the girls. Everybody needs their own spaces. So they do really well just keeping the yard mowed. We haven't mowed here but one time this entire year, yes. And we can walk back here and see the strawberries.
Okay.
So I think another really cool thing is like if you can get with somebody in your area that grows something and trade them, like these strawberries are a gift that one of my awesome neighbors that's been gardening for many decades, these are her strawberry plants. And then I traded her some of our sweet potatoes and she was able to grow those. And it's really nice to be able to share that with your neighbors. And I think that's another really good way to learn what does well in your area, because somebody might already know a variety that you could try.
Yeah, I feel like that's so key.
Yeah.
Because if you can get something that just works in your area, like if you can get your fresh plant to grow successfully, you would just love it.
Yes.
Like way more than if you just, get something that it might not be that you have a non-green thumb. It's just that plant does not grow in your area. It could be that simple.
And then we can, let's see, we can walk. Do you want to walk over here and see the horses?
Yeah.
Okay.
And how many acres do you have here?
So we have 8 acres.
Okay.
But a lot of it is wood. So what we do is like, this is the buck area over here. And we repurposed a kid's playhouse for them to hang out on. And then my sister-in-law gave us these big sheets of plastic and pallets, and we were able to build, a little run-in for them to stay out of the rain and things like that. But we do move their fence all up in the woods, and that helps us to eat back invasive plants like winter creeper and stuff. Hi, Blue.
Oh my goodness.
Hi. What you
That's
doing?
awesome.
What you doing? Say hello. Say hello. Say, oh, thank you. No. What you doing, buddy? Uh-oh, the flies are getting you there. That's one thing, but.
Great. Well, thank you. So this was Happy Hippy Homestead.